Hello, everybody. It's week 3 in the NFL, and I'm Lonnie Washington along with Tony Robinson. He's in Texas, I'm in Arizona, and we're going to start talking about the NFL week 2 first and about the slate of games that happened this weekend and last night. We had a interesting set of Monday night games last night, but before that, we had some key storylines from coming out of week 2. One of the big storylines, Tony, was the injury to quarterback Joe Burrow. He suffered a toe injury during the win against the Jaguars and expected to miss significant time. They say up to 3 months. That is a crazy, crazy thing. Again, after he has 6 seasons. He's missed three of the last 6 seasons, including this injury. He's such a good player. The league really needs him because he's such a good young quarterback, but he just can't stay healthy. He's in your division in the North, AFC North. What do you think about this injury?
The music's still going on, just so you know.
Yeah, we got you.
It's sad, man, because Joe Burrow is like, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks right now, and it's just like he just can't stay on the field. It's like 3 years in a row that he's dealt with some kind of injury, and just like we can't. I mean, it's good for us. I mean, I'm happy for our team, the Browns, but wow. I just don't like seeing him go through this because he's a great quarterback. I mean, I would say great already to me. That's how I feel. It just sucks when you have these nagging injuries that just pop up. You know, they said it was a turf toe, but they need to change that designation too, because the turf toe is usually you're out for like 2 weeks or whatever, and you're back, in 2 weeks. But he broke his toe. It seems like he needs surgery. That's what it sounds like.
People think you're weak if you can't play with a turf toe, but it's ended a few careers out there, and people think you're weak when you say turf toe. They're like, "Oh man, get out there and take that sucker up and go back out there." But it's just not that easy, especially when you're a quarterback and you need your balance and you need all your toes. You need 5 toes down, brother, in order to play the quarterback position.
Can't go 4 toes down. So I mean, and like
you need 10 toes down, but you definitely need that 5th toe.
Yeah, so but it's like that when you have to have a surgery, you can't say that it's get on back out there. I mean, it must be very significant injury, so for them to have surgery. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, looking at some marquee games over the weekend, we had the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17. In a rematch of the Super Bowl, but this game was kind of boring, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a defensive battle, but I don't even know what to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just that Mahomes doesn't seem like he has his weapons, and Kelsey doesn't seem like that person. It's like his career is kind of declining in front of our eyes. That the big significant drop that he had when they were going in to score. He grabbed the ball and he had it, then he didn't have it. The ball went up in the air, and the Eagles get the interception to stop that score. But the Eagles are who we know who they are. They're going to be there again. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. But the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 for the first time since 2014. We're not used to seeing this type of start from the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think that they're at right now? And do you think that, with a 14% chance of making the playoffs of teams that start 0-2 since 2000, what do you think? You think that they can get themselves out of it when they start getting some of their players back?
I don't know, man. It's hard because it's like you can't with a guy like Mahomes, you've seen what he's done in the past and stuff like that, and you're not used to seeing him in this kind of situation 0-2 to start the season. Maybe I can't really say if it's a Kelsey thing, if it's his wife, his gonna be wife.
Don't say it, brother. We're gonna get killed.
It is, and it's I don't know, but I think there's a lot to it that goes. We don't know the background of the the locker room and stuff like that, and like what they're dealing with. But what you can see is that they're not on the same page like they usually are. But it's still early in the season. This is what they do. You got a great coach over there. Mahomes is a great player. He's gonna do what he has to do to get to where, they're in a chance to
Yeah.
make the playoffs. I feel.
Yeah.
And but their division's getting tough. The
Oh
Chargers
yeah.
getting
Oh
better.
man. Oh man.
Everybody in that division is getting better. Denver's getting better, so they gonna have to
Yeah, the Chargers,
pick it
man.
up.
Last night, their defense looks legit. I mean, Harbaugh has the Chargers playing really good football. I mean, the Raiders got problems. We'll touch on some of the things that's
Keenan
going.
Allen's back.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen's back, so
yeah,
he's making the team look way better.
yeah. I mean, Harbaugh is going to do what he does. When he comes in the NFL, he makes the quarterbacks look great. He makes sure that everywhere he's gone, he's won. So yeah, that division is getting a lot tougher. We'll see about the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend. A couple of other noticeable comeback wins last weekend. We had the Dallas Cowboys and Indianapolis Colts and the Cincinnati Bengals all mounting comebacks to secure victories in the final minutes of their games. I mean, this Dallas Cowboy game probably was one of the most entertaining of the weekend but you got Russell Wilson throwing for about 450 yards, but then he makes the critical mistake at the end and throws an interception when they could have driven down and kicked the field goal and milked the clock. They gave the Cowboys another chance to tie the game, and that's what they did: 64-yard field goal, and they tied the game and they win the game in overtime. Do you think that based off of the performance of Russell Wilson that this buys him a little bit more time? I mean, the guy threw for 450 yards the most of his career. Did this buy him a little bit more time with the Giants?
I think so. Like I said on a previous podcast, I feel like Russell Wilson is one of my favorite quarterbacks in this, since he's been playing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you can't rush these rookie quarterbacks. You can't rush Darden just because you have a first bad game. I mean, like I said previously, like the first game is it's their preseason game because they don't play during the preseason. So Russell Wilson is starting to get his footing and everything. I feel like he's going to be better. And you got I feel like he played really well. It showed that he can still do what he can do. Those moon balls that he throws and stuff like that. It's like, man, I wish I was a receiver doing this.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
He's getting used to a new system again too, right? So,
yeah,
to see the Giants 0-2 and to lose that Cowboy game, I think the Giants fans should have some type of hope that they could win a few games this year. Hopefully, it's not against my Commanders. I don't care what they do as long as they don't win against my Commanders. But I think the Giants defense, they were struggling. But man, the Dallas Cowboys offense. I mean, we saw George Pickens actually start to catch the ball and then actually featuring him within the offense, and he had a really good game, and I'm sure the fantasy people are happy about it. But I mean, the Cowboys put up 41 to win the game in overtime. It was an amazing game to watch.
Javonte Williams, I had him in fantasy, and he got me some. He got me in the green, making some money. So
nice. So yeah, I mean, when you also, I saw the Colts. All right, I saw the Colts. We're gonna instead of Danny Dimes, we're gonna call him Indiana Jones now, right? Because he plays for the Colts. He's in Indiana. So Indiana Jones. I mean, could it be that Barkley and Jones, they leave the Giants, they go to different teams, and I mean Daniel Jones, I don't think they punted in 2 games. I think they set up NFL record of not punting at all in 2 games. And they have a really good football team, it seems like. And, with the struggles of the Houston Texans, the Jaguars are pretty decent, right? But the Colts could win this division this year. And Daniel Jones right now, he's having an MVP. And I say in air quotes because it's still early. But, man, he looks like a whole different player.
Yeah, and I feel like this whole time Indianapolis had the pieces. They had the pieces. They just needed a quarterback. The guy, what's his name again? The quarterback, the one that was there last year.
Richardson, the rookie. Yeah, well, he's not a rookie, but
he plays like a rookie still.
He does.
I feel like it just Daniel Jones just needed to change his scenery. I believe being in the New York spotlight is a lot. It can be a lot on certain players, certain quarterbacks, but there's no excuse. You're a professional. But when it comes to it, Indianapolis Colts have all the pieces. They have the receivers, they have the tight end, they have the running back. Their defense is playing better because the offense is being able to possess the ball longer and not putting them in bad situations like Richards, the other quarterback was. And that just like with the Browns, we have the same issue. We just need somebody to come in to manage the game on the offensive side so the defense don't have to be on the field long periods of time. So that's what Daniel Jones has in Indianapolis, but he didn't have that with the Giants. I mean, he wasn't not saying he was doing better with the Giants. He's doing better in Indy than he was doing it with the Giants. His own personal game himself, how he played. But I mean, it's not the same kind of team, but it's totally different. But I think that Indianapolis has the pieces. They've had them for like a couple years now. It's just inserting a veteran quarterback that actually manage the game and do everything, just make the passes, just make the throws, hand the ball off, and manage the game and don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, and they win the last second field goal where the kicker missed the field goal and the Denver Broncos thought they won, but I guess it was a leverage call against the Denver Broncos, and there was a 15-yard penalty that gave the kicker another chance for the Colts, and they beat the Denver Broncos, and it was, I mean, they're 2-0. It was a crazy ending to a football game, but you got to give them credit, right? You got to give them credit. They won the football game, and at the end of the day, 29-28. You only got to win by 1 point, and that's what they did. So hats off to the Colts. I'll be watching them the rest of the season. Moving on, Jared Goff threw for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns in the victory over the Bears. I mean, this game was just it was just a bad game for 52-21. And Caleb Williams, I just don't know what to say. I think this is still going to start to snowball because the Bears fans are expecting more from Caleb Williams. And, they have the pieces. They have a good defense over there in Chicago. And finally, the Detroit Lions, they started playing like we know that they can play, right? We had the last 2 games we saw them was last week against obviously the Green Bay Packers. And then we saw them against the Commanders last season in the playoffs, and they didn't look good. And then finally, now they snap back, and they're 1-1. But the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, I think this is going to be a story the whole season, especially if they don't start winning some football games. And you start to wonder, can Caleb Williams really become that stable, on-time, drop-back quarterback? Because it seems like all he wants to do is make off-schedule plays, but that's not how this offense is set up. This offense is a timing offense. It's set up to throw timing plays under center and to do all of this stuff with the scrambling and all that stuff like that. This Ben Johnson's offense is not going to work like that.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna say this and totally redeem yourself, Lions. They came out and played against the Packers the first game of the season. It's no game tape on like how they're gonna play with Parsons and stuff like that in that defense. And I feel like they were a little flustered, didn't know how to deal with Parsons. And then like when they go home and like get ready for the Chicago Bears, is like, the issues that they have on the offensive side in Chicago kind of push, the Lions to have more opportunities and stuff like that. I didn't watch the whole game, but I just feel like in the second game, the Lions kind of picked it up. From looking at the stats and stuff like that, obviously, you can see they got the ball to, their key players and stuff like that, and they didn't play around in this game. But it just goes to show though that Packer defense is good.
Oh yeah, the Packers defense is good. Finish up on week 2 a little bit here. The Packers beat the Commanders 27-18 on Thursday night. That, of course, hurt my heart. Seahawks 31-17 over the Steelers in a wild game too. Seahawks are looking pretty strong, to Rams 33-19 over the Titans. That was expected. The Bills 30-10 over the Jets. That was also expected, really. And the Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27. The 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. And the Ravens beat the Browns 41-17. I mean, the Cardinals, they're 2-0, 27-22 over the Panthers, and the Buccaneers last night 20-19 over the Texans. Baker Mayfield, the ex-Brown quarterback, looking really, really great. The Chargers 20-9 over the Raiders on the second Monday night game, and that finishes up week 2. But we got to go back here, and I'm not going to let you off the hook, and I'm not going to be off the hook either. We'll go back and we'll talk about this Browns game, because I think last week when I talked to you about this game, I said, man, I don't think that they have a chance. And you kind of like said, well, I think they got a chance. But, the first half seems that they were in the game, the first quarter, first half. And, I remember texting you saying, wow, this is a they've got potential if they stay in this game. But again, this is a complimentary league, right? So, you got to play complimentary football on both sides of the ball. What did you see in that game that kind of flipped everything to the favor of the Ravens?
So I like what you did there with the Baker Mayfield. You put that knife in and twist it even more.
yeah. When you need the quarterback.
Yeah, so that's where it starts. That's exactly where it starts. I mean, the defense played well. The defense had Henry. Henry only had 20 some yards in the game overall. Lamar Jackson was bottled up the first half pretty much until the interception came. Like, what are you doing, Flacco? You get out of the pocket and you throw right to the defender, almost a pick six. And that's what led the charge for them to just go off on us, because that's how they got their first score. And it just spiraled from there, because the defense is like sitting here like, what are you doing, dude? You just gave him the ball. And then as the game went on, they just kept rushing him. They just kept sending the whole kitchen to him, right?
Well, they know where he's going to be, right? He's not a scrambling quarterback, so they know where he's going to be.
He's a statue back there. Is that's the point. Like, people don't understand. They look at the score and like, oh, the defense is terrible. I'm like, no, the offense is terrible, because they're putting the defense in bad situations by, I don't know if it's the coach, it has to be the coach. It can't be the GM. I feel like the coach is not making the change at quarterback, or at least giving a thought to like bringing Dylan Gabriel in or whoever. I don't want to say the other guy's name, because I'd be like, oh, you just want Shador. You just want Shador.
Well, Gabriel got in garbage time,
Dylan Gabriel can get in. I know he can move in the pocket, out of the pocket, and stuff like that. And that was the issue. You saw an old 40-year-old guy. I thought he was going to be better than what he is. He's not 2023 Joe Flacco. And I love Flacco. I like how he throws the ball, but when it comes to this game now, you don't have that much time to get the ball off. And I'm going to say it's not all on Flacco. The offensive line can't block. They can't block for the running game. They can't block for the passing game. So if the defense is getting in too fast, then why do you have a slow quarterback in there that can't extend the play and get out of the pocket?
Right.
That's the main issue. Like, if your quarterback can't get out of the pocket and extend the play, then you're just a sitting duck. And then you're just going to be flustered and just start throwing the ball around like he did. And he fumbled. He was going down to the ground, and he just let the ball go and fumbled. It felt like he was just point shaving for his old team, the Ravens, that he won a Super Bowl with. And I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, every time you play
do you really don't think that Dylan? Let me stop you for a second. Do you really think that Dylan Gabriel would have gave them the best chance to win against that Baltimore's defense, him being a rookie? Joe Flacco, you always say that, hey, we don't want to throw these rookies in the fire. And Joe Flacco was the guy to come in and start initially. Have your feelings changed on that, or what we saying?
It has changed, because the running saying around, like, the Browns and the organization, like, and all the groups that I'm in, is saying that they want to get through this first 7 games or whatever because it's a gauntlet. We all these good teams that
Right.
we're playing, it's a gauntlet. They don't want to rush the quarterback in, but as I'm looking at it, it's like if we wait till game 7, we're gonna be 0-7. Like what? Like what better time to get the rookie some real game time, like hard. Just throw them in there now, like because right now we see what we're getting with Flacco. Flacco's not giving us anything. I mean, it's not all on Flacco. It's like I always say about quarterbacks, you can't blame just the quarterback. It's other components to the game, like the offensive line not blocking, and you can't say the receivers are terrible because the receivers don't got time to get open because they're already in the backfield. He's already scrambling
Right.
to get,
Well,
So
yeah.
there's so many different components to the game, but our defense is that like that. They're like that. They're a top 3
Yeah.
defense, but your offense can't. They have to possess the ball longer. I mean, they possess the ball pretty long against Cincinnati, but when it comes to playing against Baltimore, you got to possess the ball a lot longer than that. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll get you out of this thing, man. I know it's painful to talk about.
I'm getting hot.
I
need
know
to
it's
drink
painful to talk about, but the Commanders go into Green Bay on a short week, and we got throttled, and it wasn't fun to watch. We have to somehow get it together, and it wasn't good. I mean, Packers win this game 27-18, but that doesn't even tell the story. This game wasn't really even close until the fourth quarter, where you thought, Jaden Daniels, you thought he was going to put his cape on again, but that defense of the Packers, and he needs help too. He needs Terry McLaurin to get out of preseason mode and to get into game shape so he can start making some plays. Deebo Samuel is that guy. It was some key injuries in that game. Austin Eckler tore his Achilles. So moving forward, that's going to hurt the team. Also, we got some, Jordan Love shredded us with the tight end. There's no reason why a tight end should have 140 yards receiving in the football game. We just didn't. I think the coaching was bad coming off a short week. They weren't really prepared, and their offensive scheme wasn't good. It seems like Green Bay knew everything that we was going to throw at them. And so we were too predictable. I mean, our team is 1-1. Green Bay is 2-0. And, I know it's early, but now, coming up here, I know everybody's probably heard that Jaden Daniels has a knee sprain and that he's day-to-day. And so we'll start to preview that coming up here in a few minutes. But I think that early in the season, you're starting to see some crazy storylines, especially with quarterbacks getting injured in week 2. That could affect everything. It's all about do you have a good backup quarterback, right? We saw where Browning came in for the Bengals after Burrow got hurt, and then they won. But the Commanders, we need to definitely make sure that every game we bring it, and that our secondary, who Lattimore to me in that game pissed me off because I mean he was touchy-feely, making bad penalties. All the way around in that game. It's almost like, he's not that same guy that we got from the Saints. Last year, we got him late in the season. He had some injuries with the hamstring, but there's no excuse this year. He's supposed to be like a really good corner, but we had some bad things that happened in that game. And help me out here, man. I mean, are the Green Bay Packers that good, or were we that bad?
well, I'm gonna say, like I said in the previous podcast we had, in a short week, it's hard in a short week being the traveling team. They're both on short weeks, but one has to travel, one is sleeping in their bed and like just preparing for you guys to come there. You guys didn't have enough time to prepare or get any game tape on them because they just play one game and
it's
then
an extra short week too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That day of travel is really, you lose that day too. With a home team, don't lose anything.
So it's like, so that's the big thing. I mean, I see them. I think the Commanders will rebound from that.
We got the Vegas Raiders this week. So
yeah,
I mean, if there's a game to rebound, they're coming off a short week. They got to fly across the country. So that would be a great game to rebound on. And the Raiders didn't look good last night. So hopefully this 10-day rest the Commanders has had will hopefully get Jaden Daniels better to ready to play with the knee injury, or Marcus Mariota. Every time he's come in, even going back to last season, he's played very, very well for us. So it's good to have a really good veteran quarterback, especially if your guy is hurt. So we'll see coming up. We're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll start to preview week 2. Sit tight. Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Lonnie Washington along with Tony Robertson. He's in Texas. I'm in Arizona. We are previewing NFL week number 3. And yes, I mean, there's some notable matchups coming up this week. I'm really interested to see. I mean, first, you've got, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles 2-0 hosting the Los Angeles Rams 2-0 and the Arizona Cardinals 2-0, traveling to face the San Francisco 49ers 2-0 and that division game there. And, Monday night, you got a highly anticipated game between the 1-1 Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens 1-1. That's going to be, some preview for week 3. But before we get to talking about those matchups, I mean, there is some real noticeable injuries at the quarterback position. We already talked about Joe Burrow getting injured and how that's going to impact, the whole league and also the division. But Brock Purdy, he's dealing with a toe and left shoulder injury still. He expected to miss week 3. But Mac Jones, who seems like he might have a resurgence of a career, came in and had a really good game last weekend to give San Francisco the win. Jaden Daniels has a knee injury. His status for week 3 is also questionable. Justin Fields, he's in the concussion protocol too after suffering a head injury in week 2. J.J. McCarthy is also expected to miss week 3 due to a high ankle sprain. And now, you've got, 15% of the quarterbacks in the league with injuries that may or may not play for week 3. And, everybody is saying, what can we do to help the quarterback? It's like, come on, man, dude, really? What can we do to help the quarterback? We're already doing enough to help the quarterback. It's what the quarterback can do to help themselves. With these quarterbacks scrambling out of the pocket, trying to extend plays and do things like that, you're going to start to see these injuries. And but it's not really good for the league to have backup quarterbacks, 5 or 6 backup quarterbacks potentially playing in week number 3. What do you think about it, Tony?
Yeah, especially in big games like these games that are coming up. It's like, I mean, it sucks that these guys are going through this, but like you're saying, like they're trying to extend the plays, but they also, when you're extending the play, you got to make sure you get down. You can't try to run
smart.
Somebody over. You can't run like a running back. You're not a running back. You're not getting paid to be a running back. You're getting paid to be a quarterback. And you're getting paid a lot of money to be a quarterback. So it's like you got to get down. I dealt with this with Deshaun Watson on the Browns. So he was like, when he was playing, but I want to bring him up right now. But yeah, they just have to get down. I mean, yes, they feel like they can run somebody over or whatever, but you're doing your team a favor by just getting down or throwing the ball away or whatever. Don't take the big hit. You're not that big to be like trying to run people over, and stuff like that. And maybe you are, but at the same time, you need to make sure you're healthy for the team. When you're trying to like run people over, that's kind of like it's a little selfish and like self-centered to like do that and try to like, and then I don't know. Maybe
17 games, man. 17 games, and what you did in college. Yeah, this ain't college. This is the NFL, man. And these guys can run. They can run sideline to sideline, just as fast as you can try to get out of the pocket. You might can try to outrun some of these guys, but man, taking a hit where you can just go down and protect yourself. Jaden Daniels is the big one too. He likes to try to. He don't want to get down. You might have put on an extra 10 pounds of muscle, but these guys, man, you long, you lanky, and they'll hit you. And so I think that, for the Commanders, Zayden Daniels, this is I would really consider possibly sitting him this week with a sprained ankle, especially if he's not 100% to protect himself, because part of his game is running the football, right? I mean, hit the RPO game. And if he can't run effectively, or I think that it's more, he could get injured, even though he's playing the Raiders. I mean, you got Max Crosby over there, and you've got a rookie right tackle that he's going to line up against. And if Jayden Daniels can't get himself out of the pocket and get down and get out of trouble, I would really consider playing Marcus Mariota in this football game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mariota he can do the job because he's done it before when he was out.
And he can run. And he can scramble too, right?
So it's just like, him back in his Tennessee days where he was running the ball and like doing all the stuff that he did. They didn't win a lot, I guess, but with this team, he's a shoe-in. Like it's a hand in glove kind of fit for the backup to be in this kind of offense, because that's what they are. He ran this offense before, especially at Oregon too when he was there. So
I'm hoping that they consider sitting Daniels against a team that they should win, right? They should beat the Las Vegas Raiders. So JJ McCarthy, he's expected to miss week 3 with a high ankle sprain. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to say it. I mean, there's been 8 quarters that I've seen McCarthy play, and he's only been good in 1. And that's the comeback win in the 4th quarter against the Bears last week. But he was like a shell of himself against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm not saying that the Atlanta Falcons don't have a good defense, but JJ McCarthy, I think McConnell is happy. I don't want to say happy that he's injured, but he gets a chance to put somebody else in there to see how that offense is going to run with someone else. But that someone else is Carson Wentz. We haven't really seen him since he's been with the Commanders. But I think, you got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Minnesota Vikings, and that's going to be a tough game for Minnesota at home. But, I mean, what have you seen from J.J. McCarthy? I'm not sure if you saw a little bit of the game last week, but boy, he was bad. It was as bad as we probably saw against. It was actually worse than what we saw against the Bears. At least the Bears, he had to come back and win in the 4th quarter, but he didn't get anything going this week.
Well, I mean, like we said last time, I feel like he's still a rookie. He's showing that he's a rookie. The first game was him, getting thrown to the fire and just, going through the rookie stuff, just trying to dealing with like different defenses of the, at the NFL level. You're getting the kitchen thrown at you, getting different looks thrown at you and stuff like that. And he kind of, in that game, he kind of, worked his way through all those different dynamics of defense, and he pulled it out, like you said. But I just still feel like.
But the Atlanta Falcons, he had no. He was just
nasty though. Falcons, they picked up a lot of guys from Georgia, a lot of rookies from Georgia and stuff like that. So their defense is a little more stout now. They're not pushovers like they used to be. So you can tell they're developing that defense and stuff like that. So, and I feel like
I'm a little nervous of that game. Yeah, we play the Commanders play them next week, week 4, in Atlanta. So that's
but I just feel like McCarthy is gonna go through his growing pains because he's still a rookie. Not everybody can just come in and just do their thing and like they did in college. I mean, he wasn't really doing that in college. He was pretty much a game manager.
He was,
when they won the championship or whatever, because the running game was the main key factor in those Michigan teams. So he's always just been a game manager. He's not a dynamic like superstar breakout player like Jayden Daniels or Lamar Jackson that can change the game and stuff like that. Maybe he'll get there in the long run, but right now he's not going to be that guy. He's just going to manage the game and stuff like that. So,
yeah, if you're O'Connell, you're sitting here, you're like, hey, we got Sam Darnold who's gone, and we got Daniel Jones who's gone, and we got rid of those two guys to, for this is what we're getting for JJ McCarthy. So there's going to be some growing pains, especially when you see the two guys that was on your team last year going and having pretty good seasons so far with their respective teams. And so, yeah, that's going to be a big deal. And obviously, Caleb Williams, he's got his own set of problems too. We already talked about that earlier. But this week, some of the notable games this week, you've got. Man, you got the Rams going back to Philadelphia to play the Philadelphia Eagles. And, everybody said that, the Rams was one play away from beating Philadelphia last season. I don't think so. I mean, in that playoff game last year, it was snow on the ground. Barkley really couldn't get anything going that well in that particular game, in that playoff game. I don't really think that they were going to beat. I don't even think that it was going to be. It was a close game, but only because it started snowing. I don't think that the Rams are in the same league that the Philadelphia Eagles are in. And they're 2-0. They travel to Philly again. It's going to be good weather, early season game. What do you think about that game? What do you think is going to happen in that football game in week 3?
Oh, it's tough because it looks like the Eagles can still the Eagles is going to probably win this game, but I'm kind of worried because the Rams have been playing pretty good football on the offensive side because you got Puka Nacua, you got Devontae Adams there. Like those two guys are killing it, and then you got Kyron Williams in the backfield, making it easy for the passing game and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's kind of hard because it just I mean the Eagles going to be at home, right? So with that being said, that's why you kind of have to take the Eagles because they have the Eagles minus 3.5 right now. So it's like I feel like the Eagles, because of that offense, the way they they got the tush push, they can always get the first down on third and short. Like it's just 4th and 1. They can always push to get that first down. So it's kind of hard to stop them. You got to get them in long distance, like 3rd and long, 4th and long, or whatever, in order to stop them. Because once they get those short yardage runs, it's like it's too easy for them to get the first down. It's just I don't know, and I can't really say that about the Rams defense because I haven't really seen their defense play as much. But
their defense is their defense is legit. I mean, the Rams defense is totally legit, and it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they fare. And this is going to go a long way. I think this is kind of like the Green Bay Commanders. We kind of saw that the Commanders' early season is not on the same level as the Packers. We're going to see in this game with the Eagles and the Rams how the Rams can fare to the Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. I hate to say it. I do wish the Rams win, but I mean, I'm not going with my heart on this. I'm thinking the Eagles might pull this game out at home, and I just think that Jalen Hurts, he's just playing on another level. This tush push thing is crazy. Right? I mean, they got players jumping off sides for the Eagles. They're not even calling it, but this play is unstoppable. And anytime they get a 3rd and 2 or 4th and 1, no one can stop this play. And I just think this is a crazy advantage in that, I don't think the Rams are going to be able to stop that play. And I think that the Eagles somehow is going to win this game. It's a 3.5-point game, and I think they'll win by at least four points. So I think definitely that the Eagles will come out on top on this particular game. So yeah, I mean, and you've got some other notable. I mean, let's just run down the games real quick, and then we'll circle back around to these games. You've got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night. That's a joke. And Atlanta at the Carolina Panthers. I think and it's a divisional game, but I think that game should be a pretty good game. But Atlanta should win that game. Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. We'll circle back to that one in a second. Houston at Jacksonville. That should be a really good game. Cincinnati at Minnesota. Pittsburgh at New England. And the Jets at Tampa. The Colts at Tennessee. Las Vegas Raiders at the Commanders. Denver Broncos at the Chargers. That's going to be entertaining. The Saints at the Seattle Seahawks. Dallas at the Chicago Bears. And Arizona at the San Francisco 49ers. And then you've got Kansas City, who needs a win desperately at 0-2, along with the Giants. They got to go to New York and play the Giants. And you've got the Monday night game, the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens, which that's going to be a really good game. Let's circle back around to the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. Oh boy. I mean, after seeing them beat up on my Commanders and now seeing them going into Cleveland, I think the Packers are going to 3-0. And that's all I'll say about this game because I don't think it's going to be close. But, Cleveland plays well at home and the defense is good. If they get a couple of things on offense going, they can make this pretty interesting. And to be honest with you, the Green Bay Packers, they haven't really put teams away, even though they're 2-0. They looked really good. But I got the feeling that the Commanders were still in that game somehow in the fourth quarter. So it's all about if Green Bay can put the Cleveland Browns away early and can't let the Cleveland Browns get any momentum at all in this game.
Right. So you know who I have.
Yeah, I do.
You know who I have. And with that being said, I have to, right? I can't.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
I know we're supposed to be biased in a little bit, but I can't be biased. I have to go with my Browns only because I feel like the defense will tone their offense down. And it's going to be up to us to actually. I want to see what Flacco's going to do because I don't see him doing well against them either because they're going to do the same thing the Ravens did because you got Parsons coming in from any which way, just coming in there disrupting everything. So I feel like we might be switching the quarterback in the second half.
Oh, wow.
Because like you said, I feel like Green Bay they're gonna find a way to get points up. Either it's on the defensive side where they're scoring on off of our offense, but I feel if Flacco comes out and does well to start the game and like we get the running game going because my boy Junkins is there now. Junkins actually played pretty solid. Once they give him the keys and start letting him play a little more, maybe that will help with the offense, with the passing game. You get the running game going and then get the pass going because that's what we like to do. We like to run the ball, then play action. And when we had Chubb, it was the same way. So we have a guy, a bruiser and Junkins that can actually do that. To the first, second, third down plays and stuff like that. And then we hit them with the play action and go deep. But when you have, we got to get our running game going too. But the offensive line has to protect. So,
yeah, well, that's number one defense in the league with with Parsons on there. It was a nightmare for us on a short week. I'm not sure. People can't call me while I'm doing a live. It's yeah, man. I'm gonna pray for you guys. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna pray for you guys. I don't think it's gonna be good. When we come back, we'll start the preview again. The last 15 minutes of the show, we'll start the preview again. Week 3 of the NFL season. We'll be back in a minute. We are back. How you doing? We're previewing the NFL Week 3. I'm Lonnie Washington along with Tony Robinson. I'm in Arizona. He is in Texas, and we're talking Week 3 football. And one of the things that we were talking about before the break is just the Green Bay Packers and how good they are. I think they're a very good football team. Seeing them now and focusing on them, but we've got some other games here to get to. So Kansas City Chiefs 0-2 at the New York Giants. Everybody is. I think Kansas City gets their first win here and start to get on a little bit of a roll here. And sometimes you need that one game, right, to against a team that you should beat. And if you can go into New York and get that, you'll get a nice victory. Start feeling good by yourself about yourself, and then you can start catching up to this AFC West division. Do you think the Giants have a chance? I mean, they got a good defense. I mean, Russ 450 yards passing against the Cowboys. Do you think the Giants get a chance? And I think this would be an upset if the Giants win this game.
Giants. I feel like the Giants, because of how the Chiefs been playing, I don't know.
They might catch the Chiefs sleeping, right? They might.
They're at
Giants
home.
got a good defense.
They're at home. They have a good defense, and Chiefs defense hasn't been playing. I mean, they kept Hurts to under 100 yards passing or whatever. He only had like 3 fantasy points because I have him on my team. So he played really
crazy.
Like they played pretty good, but I don't know if they can stop that combination that the moon ball to the receiver there that was killing the Cowboys. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know if they could. I mean, the running game, Scatterboo is coming to his own too. I don't know if he's going to be able to play more than 2 years because the way he runs so angry with his
head. Yeah, he's
like,
a bull,
Mike Allside just lead with his head.
Yeah, he's a bull. Yeah, they might have to switch him to fullback. I mean, but he's a bull. I mean, he's hard to bring down. I just think that this is going to be a good game. It's going to be an interesting game, right? Because the Giants need a win. They're at home. Obviously, I think that overall, I think Kansas City is going to win the game. I mean, I think they need a win. They're going to be in desperation mode. They cannot go 0-3 to start the season. And if they lose against the Giants, there'll be a lot of talk about oh man, the storyline if they lose to the Giants is going to be rough. If Kansas City loses.
It's hard to bet against Mahomes though, but the way they've been playing, they haven't won. They lost to the Chargers first in Brazil, then they lose to the Eagles and barely. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, but this is the game they should win. This is the game they should be 1-2 after this week. Because the first 2 teams they played tough defenses. I mean, Chargers aren't no pushover anymore.
No.
And the offense is better because Keenan Allen's back, and they just got taken through the ringer. So
yeah. So who do you think you got the Monday night game, Detroit at Baltimore? I just think Baltimore is going to win this game. I think Detroit, has to go to Baltimore, and Baltimore is, I think they get it on track again this week. Playing a good Detroit team. Detroit's going to be feeling themselves a little bit, but I think I'm taking Baltimore in this game.
They gonna get the game tape of how the Browns play them in the first half. I feel like once they see that, I think they'll try to do the same kind of. They don't have the same kind of players we have, but they can. Their defense is solid, so I think they'll try to run the same kind of defensive package to slow Henry down and slow. But all these teams can't stop Henry. Henry's is different.
Right.
But in the Browns game, I felt like there were times where Henry wasn't in the game, and I felt like he was in his head a lot, and they just set him down because they give him a break because he was just so stopped. He only had 20-some yards. So I feel like
you guys know him. You guys, this is the division. You guys know him. Like you said last week in the podcast that you guys know them very well. So I mean, you guys play them very well too.
Yeah.
But Detroit Lions, this is the individual, outside of the division games. They don't see each other all the time. So
Yeah, and we've seen Henry for the last few years that he's been there, and we know how to play him. And I mean the printer's going off, but it's throwing me off my train of thought now. But yeah, it's
It's going to be a good game. I think that's one of the better Monday night games we got on the slate this year.
Yeah,
That's going to be a good game. Both teams
yeah, and
on one.
I
They
think
both are coming
Henry's
off of
gonna
big wins.
yeah, I think Henry's gonna have to he's gonna come back in that game to try to show that he's the man again. And Detroit got to be ready for it. I mean, because Detroit is usually when Detroit is out of the dome, they don't play well. From my
Right.
experience, because of fantasy, when I'm doing
It's true.
fantasy, I'm looking. There's so many things when a team plays in the dome, they don't play well outside the dome. So because of all the elements and stuff like that, the ball gets
Mm-hmm.
thrown and it's like whatever. But so yeah, we'll see. I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this only because of that. They're
Yeah.
outside of the dome.
Yeah. I mean, so you've got the Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco. I think it's going to be a good game. They're both 2-0. You don't have a Brock Purdy though.
Division.
And they haven't really beat. I mean, I'm going to pump the brakes a little. I mean, I'm 15 minutes from the stadium. I mean, I'm literally 15 minutes. If I jumped in my car, I could be 15 minutes at State Farm Stadium right now with the Cardinals. And I can tell you now that everybody's excited. They'll take the 2-0 start. But if the Cardinals win this week, I think all the fans here locally will be excited about the prospects of the Cardinals. When they started, 7-0 and made the playoffs back 3 years ago. And I think that we haven't seen that Cardinals team. But if they go into San Fran and beat San Fran, I think the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals will definitely. People are starting to look different about the Cardinals. But Kyler Murray's there. They got Marvin Harrison there. They still got their old running back there, Connor. So their defense played very well last weekend. Although they did almost give that game away, but they made a good couple of stands at the end of that Panthers game. So I got to go with Arizona in this game.
I'm looking at the Cardinals haven't really played anybody yet. They play the Saints and the
No,
Panthers.
no, I must
They're the
admit.
two worst teams in the NFL right now,
Yes,
besides
sir.
us, besides the Browns, besides my team. But from what they've been playing, like I mean, yeah, if they win this game, then we'll start talking. But right now, we're just like, okay, you ain't playing nobody yet. We'll see. I
Right.
mean, the 49ers, they don't have their quarterback. So
They don't have
that's
Purdy
gonna be,
either. So
but they
Kittle. They
still
don't
have
have Kittle.
they still have their defense too. But
Yeah.
the Niners still got that defense. And if they win, it's going to be something to say about, we didn't have Purdy, we didn't have Kittle, we didn't have all this and that. But if they do win this game, it's going to be. I don't think they can really say anything about them because the 49ers defense is still stout. I mean, no matter what anybody thinks. I mean, but it's almost like the Browns having a good defense. You have a terrible offense, but like we said earlier, the quarterback they have right now is doing pretty solid right now for the Niners. So it's going to be a tough game, tough matchup for the Cardinals, and I feel like the Cardinals can probably pull it out. It'd probably be like within a 3-point game. I mean, I think they may win by like 1 or 2 points. I mean, it's going to be really close.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see this next game. I mean, Denver at the Chargers, and I think this is the first time that this is the Chargers home opener at SoFi. So it's a 4:00 game on CBS. I'm going to probably watch this game because I want to see because the Commanders play both of these teams this year. So I'm definitely interested in watching this game and see how they can beat up on each other. But I think this is going to be a really good football game. You got two coaches, man, that are really good football coaches. Two quarterbacks, two good young quarterbacks. Although Herbert has been in the league for 5 years now, but it's going to be a really good football game. And the way Denver lost that game last week on the road against the Colts, they're going to want to come in and see how they stack up against somebody in their own division, being the Chargers, who's got a really good football team. I'm anxious to see this one.
Yeah, I mean the Vegas odds has it -2.5 to the Chargers. So they playing at home,
Yeah,
so it's
gonna
like
be tight.
I mean the defense. I mean Denver's defense hasn't really shown up like I thought they would this early in the season. But I feel like they're going to get their footing because it's a divisional game. And I feel like Bo Nix played pretty well, but you're going against the Chargers defense that's really stout as well. So I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. Like this game is going to be a defensive struggle for both sides, but I don't know. I want to say I got the Chargers, man. We're just watching the Chargers beat the Kansas City Chiefs, watch them beat. This is all divisional. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Raiders, and now they about to go beat the Broncos. So you just can't stop. That offense is just too stacked to me. Bringing Keenan Allen back, and that
I mean,
defense.
I think he had a touchdown last night too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Johnson is finally catching the ball now, because previous years he wasn't catching the ball. The guy at TCU, the rookie from a couple years ago, he had dropping issues, but now they're playing. I heard they were playing him in a different way, where they're not sending him on long balls anymore, because he doesn't do well catching long passes. They're doing more like a Fitzgerald type scheme for him, like a package where he's running like across the field, playing like a slot type receiver instead of like the X or whatever. He's playing slot and stuff like that, getting short routes versus the long routes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this week's matchups, because I think that, some teams will get themselves out of a 0-2 hole, and some teams who we know who they were all along will win, right? And I just think that, the injuries this week is going to be interesting to see how these teams deal with the injuries. See how the Bengals deal with the injury to Joe, with Joe Burrow being out, seeing how they do against the Vikings. And then, of course, Brock Purdy's probably not going to play. Justin Fields, might miss a game here or two. So we don't know, but I think that it's going to be a really good week. The Commanders, we're hosting the Oakland Raiders. And like I said before, I think this is one we should win, but we got to put them away early, and we can't let them hang around. Our football team is definitely better than theirs, but they're coming off a short week. They got to come across the country to play us in an early game, right, in the Eastern time zone. So that's to our advantage. I mean, if we lose this game, I really got to scratch my head and figure out what the hell's going on in DC, right? Besides, I know we're getting a new stadium, but we got to figure out what's going on in our football team if we lose to the Raiders this week. So this is going to be a big deal, a good game. And so, the Cowboys, going to play the Bears in Chicago. This is our last game we're going to talk about. And gosh, I mean, Dak Prescott with that offense going to play the Bears desperate to really try to get a win. Caleb Williams is, he's got a porous defense over there against the Cowboys. I mean, so this game is not like an automatic Cowboys win, right? Because the Cowboys defense and their pass rush without Micah Parsons being there, and they gave up 450 yards to Russell Wilson last week. So, the Chicago Bears, I think, could win this game if their defense plays well and stop Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and they're out of the dome, but I feel like it's going to be a game just like they just played against the Giants. It's going to be one of those type games. It's going to be a shootout. Because unless the Dallas defense figures something out, because they gave up a lot of passing yards to Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Russell Wilson had 44 fantasy points, and I was playing against him, and the guy had him on the bench because they didn't expect him to do that.
Right.
But yeah, and it's like, so I feel like this can be a game Caleb Williams kind of comes out of his shell, or whatever you want to say. Because their defense is not really stopping anybody really. But again, it's Caleb Williams. We don't know what we're gonna get. He's at home.
Week to week, he's erratic.
Yeah.
He's erratic. So yeah. So, we'll talk again next week, buddy. Hey, this has been Lonnie Washington and Tony Robinson. And we're previewing week number 3 in the NFL. You guys enjoy the game starting on Thursday night. Have a good one, everybody. Until next week.